Hi, this is Jason from Netmon, and you're watching our tutorial screencast series. These screencasts are intended to help you get up and running quickly with your Netmon system. In this episode, we'll cover how to set up a new device in Netmon. Now, in most cases, Netmon will automatically discover the hosts on your network and add them to its database. However, there may be some situations where you want to add a host that's outside your network, or your device may be part of a network range that Netmon isn't scanning for automatic discovery. Here's how we do it. So let's say I've installed a new UPS device on my network, and I'd like to have Netmon start monitoring it. The first thing we need to do is open the Device Explorer by clicking the Devices button in the top toolbar. To add a new device to the database, click the New Device button, which opens the Add Device dialog. I need to enter the IP address of the device here, followed by a friendly label. I also need to choose the device type. Netmon ships with a variety of built-in dashboards for a variety of different devices. Take a look through this list and look for the best fit. Just so happens that we have a built-in dashboard for my UPS device, so I'm going to select that from the list. Lastly, I need to tell Netmon which monitoring services I'd like to enable for this device. Checking off NetFlow or SFlow will tell Netmon to accept NetFlow and SFlow packets that it receives from this device. If Netmon receives NetFlow or SFlow packets from a device and these boxes are not checked off, Netmon is going to discard those packets. In this case, I don't expect to receive NetFlow or SFlow data from my UPS device, so I'm going to leave these unchecked. My UPS device does support SNMP, however, so I'm going to check that box off now. Doing so opens up a few fields to help me configure SNMP support. I can adjust the polling interval in seconds, which is how often Netmon will retrieve new performance metrics from my device. I can also adjust the community string, which is a kind of password that SNMP-capable devices use to determine whether or not to respond to an incoming request. It's important that the community string set here matches the one that's configured on your device. The default entry here is public because that's what many devices use as their default setting. If you've configured another community string, however, and you probably should, then enter that here. Lastly, I can choose the UDP port number over which Netmon will attempt to connect to the SNMP service. In most cases, devices are listening for incoming SNMP requests on port 161. However, if you've changed the port for that service, or if your device uses a different UDP port number for SNMP by default, you're going to want to update that here. And finally, I can choose to enable syslog support for my new device. If I'm expecting to receive and collect syslog data from this device, I can check this box. Doing so allows me to choose the minimum message facility, which could be thought of as a category or class of messages, and the minimum message severity to accept. Making a selection here will cause Netmon to ignore message facilities and severities that fall below the value I've chosen. In this case, I won't be receiving syslog data from my UPS, so I'm going to leave this box unchecked. It's important to understand that NetFlow, SFlow, and syslog are collection-oriented. That means Netmon is expecting to receive NetFlow, SFlow, or syslog traffic from the target device. This means that your device will need to be configured to send this data to your Netmon appliance. Since the configuration for that can vary quite a bit between different devices, we're not going to cover that process here. SNMP, on the other hand, is polling-oriented. That means that Netmon will make a connection attempt to that device using the community string that you supply and over the port number that you've specified. If both of these values are correct, Netmon will be able to poll any SNMP object you require. Also note that I don't have to necessarily check any of these boxes. If I just want to set up simple ping or TCP trackers for this device, I can do that easily and ignore the rest of the services. Now that I've filled out all the required information for my new device, I click the Save Changes button. Now, it may take a moment or two for Netmon to be adding the new device to its database. If I click the Devices button again to refresh the screen, I should see my new device. And here it is right here. If I click on the device in the Device Explorer, I can see that Netmon has successfully started polling it for information. So, we've successfully added a new device to Netmon's database. If you're having problems adding a new device, you can check out our device troubleshooting screencast. It covers off the most common issues people encounter when adding new devices to Netmon. And of course, if you have an active product subscription, you can always contact our technical support team for assistance. Thanks for watching. See you next time.